Hi, welcome to HowtoDandD. My name's Frederick Weller, and today I want to review the Dungeons & Dragons 5e starter set. I have a lot of experience with this set as a player and a dungeon master, so let's have a look inside. So let's open the box and have a look what's inside. We have 6 blue dice.
We do.
We have the starter set rulebook. That is a 1.5 years old, didn't fall apart. Notice. We have the Lost Mine of Phandelver Adventure. Also hasn't fallen apart. Wonderful. And we have the 5 pre-generated character sheets. And we don't have to look too quickly at them. We know they're there. Oh my. What did you do last night? Advertising. Fantastic.
We opened the box.
Yes, we opened the box. Oh, well, we can pull out the advertising.
Indeed.
And there it is. There's the famous space filler. You can turn that over and you can use that for rolling your dice in now.
Indeed.
I'm so glad they included that in the box set.
It's such a novel feature.
It is. So what are the positives for the starter set? They have a really good set of dice. I still use them myself. There is some really good colour artwork in here, and it's not cartoony. The adventure and the core rules has the contents page printed on the front, so you don't have to flip through this book or pamphlet to actually find it. There are 5 pre-generated characters in the box, and they all give clear instructions on how to level your character up from level 1 through to 5. It provides you with a large area map. It has great locations and dungeon maps. The box set provides in the adventure all of the monster stat blocks required to run the adventure. You don't often see that. It is a very simple, elegant and robust rule system which allows you to pretty much do anything. The adventure that's provided, the Lost Mines of Phandelver, which doesn't have a particularly good name, but it provides you with enough material to get from level 1 through to level 5, and that's far more than I saw in the last box set. Lastly, none of the booklets, and I've used them for at least a year, have actually fallen apart. So what are the negatives? Well, unfortunately there are no character creation rules included in the box set itself. You have to download them for free on the Wizards of the Coast website, or you have to purchase the Player's Handbook. The space saver provided in the box is really, well, just fills up space. That's one of the negatives. I mean, you could use it as a dice tray, as I've sort of indicated, but it is just wasted space. This particular set doesn't actually provide a percentile dice in the set. Now, we don't use it very often, but there is a trinkets table in the Player's Handbook, and the Dungeon Master may find they need to use a percentile dice at some point, but there is not one included. There are no maps, tokens, or pawns, miniatures provided in the box set. Something we saw in the last one, but in this particular set they're steering away from that and they haven't provided it. But that's definitely one of the negatives. The box set only includes 4 classes: the Fighter, Wizard, Rogue and Cleric. So the Lost Mines of Phandelver is the main adventure in this particular box set. I'm going to cover it now, so if you were trying to avoid the spoiler section, this is where the spoilers will begin. This is the area map that you are provided with when you start the adventure, allowing your players to explore the whole region. Part 1 is Goblin Arrows. The start of this adventure and the lead-in adventure hook is obvious and really terrible. So basically the party is hired by Gundren Rockseeker, a dwarf, to transport some goods from point A to point B. Point B being the town of Phandalin. Gundren Rockseeker decides to go with an escort called Sildar Hallwinter ahead of the party while the party collects supplies. Now the players are probably going to guess that he's going to get ambushed, and he does. And there's a good chance they will insist that they go with him. The adventure doesn't really allow for this because it's set up for there to be an ambush. As soon as they come across Gundren's fallen horses or dead horses, there's a blood trail, so they have a choice. They can go to Phandalin or they can follow the blood trail and find out what happened to Gundren. Unfortunately, sitting right there is an ambush of goblins waiting for them. Now they're going to know it's coming. Most players, even you, will figure this out. This is the worst part of the adventure, and I would say from here on it gets a lot better. If the players decide to actually follow the blood trail, they will come to Cragmore Hideout, which is basically a goblin cave. It's full of surprises. There are some guards on duty, easy to sort of get past as long as they use their head. There are some wolves in the front cavern area. There are 2 listed in the description, but actually there are 3 in that location. That is a typo, so keep that in mind. There is also a water slide trap that activates twice. Now they might be able to avoid the first one, but the chances are they'll get hit by the second one. It is full of goblins. There is a bugbear in there who leads them called Clarg, and plenty of opportunities for fighting, negotiation, roleplay, or both. When they get in here, they will find that Gundren is not actually being held in the cave, but they will find his escort, Sildar Hallwinter. Unfortunately, Sildar doesn't know very much. Part 2 is Phandalin. This is the town location that your adventurers are journeying to. It has details for non-player characters, adventure hooks. In fact, it probably has too many adventure hooks. It is also the location where you will find the Red Brand hideout. Now, when I ran this particular adventure and I played in it, it reminded me of an old western movie, as if I was Clint Eastwood, and I would suggest presenting that kind of feel when you run it. The players are basically going to have to run the bandits out of town and dispose of the leader, Glassstaff, because they've basically been bullying everybody in the town. So once they find the hideout, a complex that is full of goblins, bugbears, bandits, skeletons, a Northic, which is like a one-eyed creature. It's quite interesting, the layout, and I enjoyed running it. There's a good chance that the bandits will actually be able to ambush the party because they're going to be able to hear what's going on in another room. So the party needs to keep noise down to a minimum. Glassstaff himself seemed to be a particularly easy opponent. I found that in most cases parties were able to take him out quite quickly. Part 3 is the Spider's Web. There are lots of little adventures in this particular chapter. The first task or adventure presented is Coneberry, or Agatha's Lair. Agatha is a banshee that the players or characters are going to have to negotiate with by presenting the banshee with a necklace, and they are asked to find out information on a book. It is primarily supposed to be a role play rather than a combat. I saw players avoid this particular adventure, and others who did a really great job and role played it and found out the information that they needed. The Old Owl Well is where you will find Hummin Kost, evil red Fey wizard, and his zombies camped out. There's no map for this. It's a very hard encounter. It's full of zombies. I found that my players were struggling to get through the zombies. The wizard himself was easy. The Ruins of Thunder Tree is basically a ruined village occupied by a green dragon called Venomfang. It is the highlight of this particular adventure as far as I'm concerned. It also has a druid called Rudolph who might help the party. He lives here. He's completely crazy. I don't know why he would live here. It is full of blight, spiders, a variety of other monstery zombie creatures. There's some cultists hanging out here. There's an opportunity to get the cultists to approach the dragon and use it as a distraction. It's not really designed to be played unless you're quite high level, because I saw parties who role played really well and still didn't get anywhere, or in some cases kill the dragon really quickly as long as he doesn't get up into the air and fly. When I actually played this adventure myself in this section, I spent 2 hours with my party running through the forest trying to avoid being killed by Venomfang. Waventor is basically the orc camp. It is situated by a cave, and Brogar Axbiter leads a band of orcs. They've been plundering homesteads, just causing rife. They also have an ogre called Gog, and you need to watch out for this particular character. The players will have a lot of trouble with the ogre. You'll find that the players will have to kill the orcs. They really can't be negotiated with. I saw parties getting captured by these orcs. I saw them getting wiped out. 12 orcs charging with great axes is not a good thing. Cragmore Castle is by far the best section in this particular part of the adventure. This is where they will find Gundren Rockseeker held captive. Now they need to be very careful because Gundren can get killed. They will also find there is a doppelganger who will probably try to play with them. The ruins of the castle are packed with goblins. There are multiple entranceways, plenty of different sorts of monsters in there, traps galore. You need to be very careful that they don't wind up waking up the entire castle. Part 4, or Wave Echo Cave, is recommended for parties of level 4 and up. Now I found that parties of level 4 and up could get through this particular complex without too much trouble. Basically, this is the mine that the Rockseeker brothers have been mining, and one is dead, one has been captured, and hopefully the party has managed to get Gundren Rockseeker back. Nesna is the mastermind behind all the trouble the party has been encountering so far. The drow is searching for the Forge of Spells, which is in this mine, but is having trouble with the massive cave location and the local undead that he's having to fight off. The cave is full of monsters, beholders, jellies, sturges, bugbears, giant spiders, and there's also a doppelganger, plenty of undead. It's a good part to the adventure, but I wouldn't say it's great. The highlight for me was still Thunder Tree and Venomfang and Cragmore Castle. The Dungeons & Dragons 5e starter set is primarily a Dungeon Master's box rather than a player's kit, but it is still worth the purchase price and I recommend purchasing it. So that's everything I have on the starter set. So if you found this video informative or helpful, please share, like and subscribe. Make a comment below if you feel that I have left anything out of this review that needed to be included. And if you have an opinion on the starter set, let me know what it is. Until next time, keep rolling those 20s.